At night on Playa Ostional, Costa Rica, the sea breeze blows and the waves crash loudly on the wet sand, creating a dramatic symphony that only the wild can orchestrate. Sarah Johnson, a dedicated American ecologist, steps out of her patrol truck with a fierce gaze, carrying a flashlight and a behavioral tracker. Beside her, Miguel Hernández, a local volunteer, walks steadily, silently, but dutifully, a specialized net cutter in hand. They have received a report of a large leatherback turtle trapped in a forgotten fishing net, and this night will be the most important night of their conservation journey. The high tide siren echoes across the beach, the waves relentlessly pushing sand up to the turtle's feet. Sarah turns on her flashlight, the light reflecting off the giant, seaweed-covered shell and rusty net. In the quiet moment, she could hear the turtle's faint squeal mixed with the wind, like a plea for survival. Miguel knelt down beside the turtle, observing the tight netting around its front fin, then turned to Sarah and whispered, "Be careful, the net is too tight. You have to cut it one strand at a time." Sarah nodded, her eyes flashing with determination. She gently placed her hand on the turtle's shell to convey warmth and reassurance. "You're not alone. We're here. Don't worry, I'll save you." The whispers were like a spiritual medicine, causing the turtle to stop struggling for a moment. Sarah carefully pulled out the net cutter. Each strand was gradually untied, the flashlight beam clearly showing every smallest detail, the net rubbing against the thick flesh, the turtle's fins shivering slightly in pain. Suddenly from afar came the sound of a boat engine, a sign of the illegal trawlers revving their engines to head toward shore. Sarah and Miguel realized that time was running out. Miguel picked up the radio to call for emergency help, while Sarah sped up the cutting process. The sound of the engine grew closer. The sea breeze carried cold mist. The darkness was projected onto the tense faces. A boat rushed toward the shore. 5 men flashed their headlights, stepped down with greedy eyes. They drew their pistols, coldly stepped onto the sand, ready to snatch the precious turtle. Miguel gently pulled Sarah behind the turtle, hid her behind the giant turtle shell, then shouted, "This is a conservation area. Leave now or you will suffer." One of the men sneered and stepped forward, snatching the cutting knife from Sarah's hand. In a split second, Sarah jumped to block, but the other man grabbed the knife. Miguel immediately rushed up, hugged him, and threw him onto the wet sand, causing the two to wrestle fiercely. Sarah quickly grabbed the knife, turned towards the turtle, and continued to cut the last strand of net. Sweat mixed with raindrops fell on her face, but her eyes remained steadfast. Finally, with a swish sound, the turtle's fin was freed from the net. The turtle let out a long squeal, its back slowly lowering to the wet sand. At this moment, the siren of the Coast Guard patrolling the shore sounded like a savior in the distance. The headlights of the patrol car flashed in the dark night. The group of rake workers panicked, hurriedly running back to the boat. Miguel hugged the turtle, used a cloth to cover it to keep it warm, then together with Sarah helped the turtle into the rescue box lined with wet sand and dry coconut leaves. The storm wind rose, the rain poured down, but the patrol car arrived in time, helping to keep the rescue team safe. At the coastal rescue station, the turtle was placed on an examination table under bright white lights. The veterinarian quickly sprayed antiseptic solution on the scratches and carefully bandaged them. Sarah recorded the turtle's vital signs in detail. Her heart rate was stable, but her breathing was still rapid. Miguel prepared a bottle of warm seawater, giving the turtle small sips to stabilize his condition. All night, the wind and waves roared outside, but in the recovery room, the turtle's breathing gradually stabilized. Sarah sat waiting beside her eyes tired but happy, because they had completed the first step of the mission. The next morning, the sky was clear. The sun shone gently through the window. The turtle opened its eyes, looked around strangely, then raised its fins to rub its face as if to feel the warmth. The doctor confirmed that the turtle only had minor scratches and could fully recover after a few days of care. The volunteer group held a quick meeting, deciding to take the turtle to the Gulf of Papagayo to release it back into the ocean. It was a warm area with few waves and a favorable current for the migration of leatherback turtles. The move took place early the next morning. The turtles were placed in a light container lined with sand, fresh seaweed, and warm towels. Sarah whispered in the turtle's ear, "Go free, my dear companion." Miguel smiled, placing his hand on the turtle's shell one last time to wish it luck. At the release site, the sky was clear, the set. A breeze caressed the small waves. Sarah opened the lid of the container, watching the turtle slowly slide down the sand, looking up at her and Miguel with a look of gratitude. It rushed into the ocean, ripples breaking on its shell, as if celebrating the moment of freedom. Sarah and Miguel stood watching, silently welcoming the sacred moment. The sound of the waves lapping against the shore was like a song, welcoming the return of a sea spirit. The narrator emphasized, the conservation fight is not just about saving an individual, but also about preserving the future of the ocean. They knew that this journey would inspire many people to join in protecting marine life. A few days later, surveillance cameras recorded images of healthy turtles swimming offshore in the morning sunlight. It was a testament to the miraculous vitality and tireless efforts of people who love nature. The narrator concluded, in every drop of sweat, every whisper to the turtle, is the heart of humans for the ocean. Let's protect the wilderness together. Like and subscribe to spread the love.